Bright morning, everybody. My name is Kisha Jen Mahilom, and I am from BSED English 3A. And today, I will be discussing the four literary theories. We have Marxism, we have postcolonialism, New Historicism, and lastly, we have feminism. Okay, so I will try to connect or to apply these theories to selected works of Philippine literature in English to show how these theories can help us deepen our understanding or how it can affect our perspective about literature. I will also provide you with the background information of the authors, some historical context, and of course, some lines from the text so that we will be able to know how these theories are really applied. Okay, so first, let me discuss about feminism. The first one, we have feminism. For feminism, I chose the required song, which is Ang Bakyan ni Neneng by Ulihing Tubo. Okay, so this song was popularized by Ulihing Tubo, which later on was covered by multiple famous Filipino singers. Okay, so if we try to look at it at a surface level, we can notice that it is a sweet courtship song about praising a woman called Neneng and her bakya, which is also known as wooden slippers. But if we try to look at it in a deeper sense, or if we try to look at it at the perspective of feminism, we will be able to notice that it is not just a song about courtship. It has a deeper meaning. This is the issue here. Okay, so Neneng is not valued for who she is as a person. She's not valued because of her beliefs, her values, her principles, her personal decisions as a person, but however, she is valued just because of her appearance and her simplicity. In feminist criticism, this just reveals how women are constantly being boxed into such narrow ideals. You see, Neneng, she represents the stereotypical Filipino woman. She is modest, she is humble, she's beautiful but quiet, like Maria Clara. And even the image of the bakya is double-sided because in Visayan and other rural cultures, when we say bakya, it is a term that symbolizes simplicity and humility. However, in urban places or in big cities, the term bakya has become a term for being cheap and unsophisticated, meaning Neneng is trapped in a cultural symbol that both praises her and limits her. And looking at this through feminism, we can ask, why must women be constantly judged for their appearance or their modesty? Why can't Neneng just be remembered for who she is? Why can't she just be remembered for her talents, her skills, or her personality? No? So this song, it reminds us how literature and culture have long reflected the unequal expectations of women in this society. And it pushes us to challenge the norms, to push for more equal and more empowering representations of women. For our next literary theory, we have postcolonialism. Okay, so it was first published in 1986, and it follows the story of a young Muslim Filipino boy named Ali, who is caught between tradition, colonial stereotypes, and his own personal desires. The story basically describes Ali's vision of a white horse, which is a symbol of purity, of freedom, and of course, of escape. But his dream clashes with the harsh reality of his life, wherein colonialism and cultural prejudice was very evident. And one line goes, "The white horse galloped away and Ali could not follow." Okay, so in this line alone, it shows how Ali yearns for freedom, how he yearns for liberation, but he is not able to do so because he feels powerless. Through the post-colonial lens, it reflects how the colonizers have controlled the narrative of the identity of the Filipino people. The Muslims of Mindanao were portrayed as dangerous while the Christianized Filipinos were seen as civilized, which was an obvious strategy to divide, rule, and conquer the Filipino people. Even today, the divisions still remain. Okay, so in other parts of Negros and the Visayas, we still hear stereotypes about the Moros or the Muslims, which is a proof that colonial mentalities linger. So, reading this story post-colonially lets us see that Ali is not just an individual character. He serves as a symbol of all of the colonized people out there who are confused, who are silenced, but are still fighting, are still longing for their freedom and their dignity. The next literary theory that I will be discussing is Marxism. For Marxism, I have chosen the work of N.B.M. Gonzalez, which is titled The Children of the Ash-Covered Loam. Okay, so it is a collection of stories, and the title piece portrays the harsh life of the Filipino farmers, and it is told through the perspective of children. From a Marxist perspective, it reveals the social stratification in the Philippine society, wherein the farmers work tirelessly every single day, yet they remain poor. Meanwhile, the rich people or the landowners benefit from their labor. But this is not just fiction, okay? So, in Negros Occidental, we can see the exact same dynamics as of the setting of the story and of the Hacienda system of Negros Occidental. Because here in Negros Occidental, the sugarcane workers, or also known as the sacadas, endure working all day under the sun, while the hacienderos, or the wealthy people, benefit from their labor. And this novel reflects the exact socioeconomic inequalities in real life. With the help of Marxism, we can see literature as not just a story, but as a critic of society. Okay, so the work of N.B.M. Gonzalez has become a call to recognize and hopefully change the injustices of the system in the Philippines. The last literary theory that I will be discussing is New Historicism. Okay, so for New Historicism, I have chosen the work of N.B.M. Gonzalez, which is titled Bamboo Dancers. Okay, so the story was published in 1959, and it follows the story of Filipino students who have returned home from the United States after the World War II. Okay, so in the story, they are struggling with their identity and they're asking themselves, are they still Filipinos or have they become too westernized? Okay, so this symbolizes the cultural dislocation of the Filipinos who are caught between the American influence and the Filipino tradition. New Historicism teaches us that literature must always be understood with its historical context. You see, post-war Philippines was heavily influenced by the Americans, from the way we talk, our language, our politics, our education, and even the way we dress. And The Bamboo Dancers by N.B.M. Gonzalez captures the tension of the Filipino people searching for an authentic national identity after the colonization. Even in Negros, many families send their children to go study abroad or in Manila, and sometimes when they return, they struggle to reconnect with their identity. And this just shows us how the personal stories in the novel are tied to real historical and cultural forces. In conclusion, these literary theories have allowed us to see Philippine literature in a richer way. Okay, so feminism showed us how women are being idolized but also limited at the same time, as in Bakyani Neneng. For post-colonialism, it showed us the deep scars that were left by the colonizers, as in The White Horse of Ali. And for Marxism, it highlights the social stratification, as in the children of the ash-covered loam. And for New Historicism, it showed us how text is deeply connected to its historical context. And by using these literary theories, we don't just analyze literature, no? We also confront our culture, our history, and the realities of society. And as students of Negros Occidental, it is very important for us to connect these lessons to our personal experiences as Negrosanos. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening and have a bright day ahead of you.